Alright, what's up YouTube? It's been a while since I shot a video, and I've been having this problem for a little while. I just wanted to post a video in case it hopefully helps somebody out. I was having a problem with the rear actuator trunk release on my 2014 Equinox for a while, and it's kind of been off and on, working and not working, and I know that could probably be caused by several different issues, but just by the way this button was feeling, I assumed that that was probably the problem, because it's getting really soft and it doesn't have the quite the texture or the feel that it used to have when the vehicle was new. So I just assumed that this is probably where the problem is coming from. So just wanted to post this so you all maybe have if you have the same issue, can probably fix this yourself. I think the part itself was like 20 bucks, and it literally took me maybe 10 minutes to do once I figured out kind of where all the how the panels came off, and I just kind of figured it out myself. So if you guys are wanting to fix this yourself, definitely an easy job. I'm not a professional by any means, but I can definitely, we're just one of those guys that likes to fix things if I can on my own. So the main thing, or what you're going to need, guys, is just a socket. An extension doesn't have to be this long. A 10mm socket that's a little bit deeper than if you just have one of those miniature sets. It may not be deep enough because the posts on the screws are going to be a little bit longer, and you may not be able to reach the nut, but it's a 10mm. You may be able to do it with a wrench, but it's kind of a tight quarter, so probably a socket with an extension to be able to get to that. And then a T30 bit. You got one screw that you're gonna have to take off for that. I did use any kind of a flat edged screwdriver to pry off a little protective little piece of plastic on there, a pair of needle nose, and then I use this pry bar. I don't have one of those plastic panel removing tools. If you have one, great. You may not scratch your vehicle, but I didn't, and this worked out fine. So when you have the trunk open, all the decorative paneling is going to look like this, and it really comes off pretty easy. I just had one little issue with the metal clip that's in there. All the plastic little rivet pieces came off real easy, but anyways, this decorative piece and then this decorative piece, two different pieces. It's this, you have to take off this one first, and I literally just pried that and it came right off real easy. There's probably about 6 little plastic rivets, but it just comes right off. The bigger piece, you need to use the T30 screw, and there's a little plastic cover right there. Just use a flathead screwdriver and pop that little, if you can see it, pop this off right there, and there's a T30 screw in there. That's the only screw they're going to have to remove, and then the rest of it is just pop rivets. So remove the screw that's in there, and then I just started on the sides and pulled the paneling down. The sides were real easy, but about right here and right around here, there are little metal rivets, clips that are holding it in. Those two were a little bit harder to get, so I got the sides kind of loose, and then I used the pry bar and I put it up in there and was able to just pop those two, and that loosened it all real good. And then there's one more little metal clip that's right around in this area, and really I was able to loosen the entire panel, and it was just hanging by that one. Again, I just was able to have this hanging down enough. I used that metal pry bar, got it in there, and popped it off, and then this whole panel should come down for you. This chrome protective piece is going to have to come off in order to replace that actuator in there, because there's a wire that runs up inside of there. So when you when you get the panel off, you're looking at your vehicle. You kind of have where the wiper assembly is in here. I'll pull this down so we can see, possibly. So there's 4 screws, those 10mm screws that you're going to have to take off, and one of them is right in there. There's 2 inside here, and they're a little bit hard to get to, but I'm a little guy, so I was able to, once I got it loose enough with the socket, just stick my hand in there and take them the rest of the way off. This one you can loosen up, and then there's an access panel here, or this hole's big enough you can just reach in there and take it off. And then the last one is right in there, and again I just used the extension socket, loosened it up, and then stuck my hand in here and was able to take that nut the rest of the way off. So that loosens the chrome panel, that decorative piece, this piece on the outside, but it's still not going to want to come off because there's 2 plastic rivets holding it in place. So what I did was I took a pair of needle nose pliers, and if you can see it, and this is with it up, go back in here, right in there. There's a plastic rivet, and I used a pair of needle nose pliers just so I didn't damage it when I pulled it off. You probably could just pry it off if you wanted to, but it'll probably damage that. You may have to replace it. Squeezed that and then pulled the chrome piece from the outside until it came undone. And then the other one is on the other side. Sorry, I'm making you dizzy probably, but it is, if you're looking at the trunk, and it's back just to the left of that last screw, and it's back over there. I did the same thing, but that one's kind of hard to get to, so I had to put my hand into this hole with the needle nose pliers. Again, squeeze that plastic rivet from the inside and pull the panel from the outside. But it's going to be dangling because there's still a wire that's connected to the windshield wipers and goes down obviously to all your electrical stuff. But once you get that off, you'll see that actuator right there, this is popped into that piece of plastic, and you'll be looking at it upside down like that. And if you see, there's these little clips on the edges. I just pried it and popped that out, and then follow this wire back to where it's connected in there, and it's all inside that chrome piece. You slide this is all going to be plugged in, and this little red piece is going to be slid up because it'll be locked. Slide that back, and then pop this wire off, and you can literally just undo the wire, take this piece back out through the hole, and then when you have the new one, just redo what you just did. Feed the wire through, clip this piece back into the chrome decorative piece. Make sure you feed all your wires back so they're not pinched, and hook that wire back up, and then redo everything to tighten it all back up. So one thing I would definitely suggest you do is, after you plug in this actuator, make sure it's working. You can push that button and you should hear it trying to, release the trunk. I noticed that it was working perfectly when I first did mine, when I had it just in there and plugged in, and every time I hit it, it was working. And then when I screwed that chrome panel back on, it was working, but only like 75% of the time. I'm not sure if something got pinched there, or the wire was not quite right, but I loosened it back up and checked the wires again, and now it seems to be working perfectly. So I hope that helps you guys, and good luck with it. Thanks.